Good morning, traders. Welcome to the London webinar. Sorry about that. This is the second chance we're going at it because I had a technical problem just now. Let me see. Drawing tool is there. Can you see it? Wonderful. Let's go. It's impossible to do a webinar without a drawing tool. So let's go. Dollar index. We're in the dollar index, and like we said Monday, if you were here on Monday, we're looking at this as a corrective structure. Amazingly, we were going up. Some of you saw it. It came down. That's exactly what we were looking for. So today, very likely you'll be looking for this trade in non-farm payroll if it happens. If it happens, you should not miss that trade. You have an impulse, you have a correction, and you're making an impulse. There's a very slight chance that they may make one more up before they come down. If they make this one more up, a sell at the top there is perfect for the downside. I'm not looking at this structure to go up. We have an ABC structure, and I'm looking for a downside. So let's see if we can get this trade during non-farm payroll. So what would that mean for us? That means euro goes up. And nothing strange, right? Remember when we started Monday, euro was here. Euro was in here. And I said, you probably have a trade to the downside, but I'm not interested in it. I'm interested in this trade. And that is the trade we got two nice short trades into, right? I was telling my traders that I caught this one yesterday going up very nicely. There was one more little piece I managed to get. I can't remember, somewhere in here, I think, or somewhere in here. So we're looking at this. Right now, what we're looking at is a possibility for this to probably make one more to the downside or go out of this structure. So put it in a 4-hour. And if non-farm payroll is anything nice to us, you could probably get this trade and you may be going out of this structure. Right? So if non-farm payrolls, I'm interested in the upside. I'm not so keen in the downside, although it's possible. I'm mostly now interested in breaking this structure, totally out of this structure for a C wave to the upside. So we're looking at this as an A wave, a B wave, and we're looking for a C wave possibility. Something like this, breaking this and coming all the way to the top here. Right? That is the structure we're looking for. So let's see if non-farm payroll is going to be very nice to us today, and we could get one of those huge trades to the upside. But it's no wonder. If you're not in this trade, you shouldn't be buying this at the low here now. That's not a good buy. The buy you should be buying is above this trend. Either it breaks out, consolidate, and then we buy, or non-farm payroll comes, we put an entry order in the top here. It stays in here, and during non-farm payroll, it just takes off like a rocket. Because if they break this structure, they're likely going to go. Right? So I'll see you this afternoon non-farm payroll, and we'll probably make this trade. Let's see. Pong also going down. The trade we're interested in is this thing breaking to the upside because there's a huge trade to the upside. There's one difference in this structure now. We broke the low. That could change the entire structure. Either they're making an expanding flat now, which means if they come back to the top, if Pong comes back to the top, it will probably come back to about this level. Maybe here. And then we could see a huge trade to the downside. Right? That is if it comes back that low. There is a possibility this could just continue down as a C wave structure, all the way down as a C wave structure. So what we're going to be looking for today is a break of this little structure here and a move back to the top here. Either the move back is going to be impulsive or is going to be corrective. If it's impulsive, we are in. If it's corrective, we're still in, but then we will get out of it if it's corrective, which means we'll be looking for a short-term trade to the upside and then a continuation to the downside. If it is an impulsive wave, it will probably do this, and any little corrections in this, you will buy, you'll buy, you'll buy, because we will get this structure up. Right? So we will be looking at the nature of that structure as it's coming up, and then we will make a decision which direction we're going to go for the longer trade. Right now, we will try to get a trade to the upside, to this trend line, back to the top of the trend line, and see what happens. There is a one in very, very little chance that they're going to make one more wave in here as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave structure. That is a possibility. That they could come back to the top here and then make one more wave down. before they come out of the structure, right? Which means they wouldn't be coming out of this structure as yet today. Let's see what are the possibilities for that. We had a nice move up. They broke. They're actually correcting. We're looking at this correction here now. I don't think it's the downside. We may see one more move up here. And then they will talk to us whether they're going to go back down or whether they're going to break out. So we will be looking for a trade, possible trade to the upside after this correction is finished. Now, if you want to sell this in the break, you got to be careful because this is looking very corrective right now. I don't think this is the one going down. We will be looking for mostly a 1, 2, 3-wave structure, right? If it gives us that 3-wave structure, it gives us a wonderful trade. Let me just show you what you're looking for actually. Yep, you're looking for something like this. A 1, 2, 3-wave structure. And then we will see what happens, right? Then we will see what happens. So we're right now in the phase 2. It's making a corrective structure, and we will see if we can get the next impulse to the upside. Right now, I don't see a sell setup, even at a 15-minute. If they're going to give us a sell setup, they have to give us some more consolidation in here looking like this, and then we will get a sell setup. Right? So we don't have it right now. We're just getting some consolidation. Aussie is in a downtrend right now, starting to the downside. Don't be surprised if Euro goes up and Aussie goes down. At this very start of the webinar, look back at the Monday webinar, and I warn you that that's a possibility when I told you that there's absolutely no correlation in the market. So we'll be looking for possibility of Aussie going down and Euro going up. There is only one chance. We can relook at this structure. We will not know that as now, of this being an A, B, C, an A, B, C structure, and they go back up. Now, we will exclude that by looking at what this corrective structure would look like as it comes back here to go down. If they come back as a corrective structure, we'll be looking for downside. If they're very aggressive and impulsive, we'll be looking for an upside, right? Now, most of you may want to say, well, how would you know which one is going to be? And that is the good thing about wave structures. We know what they look like, right? You have to learn that. That is something you have to learn. Everybody can hear me still? Somebody lost sound? Give me a yes if you can still hear me. Okay, so somebody tell Eric that is his side. He may think that yes means he lost sound. Somebody, he can't hear me, right? So somebody tell him sound is good on our side. Is the sound clear to everybody? If you want to hear it louder, you need to probably up the volume on your side. Because if I make it louder, everybody else will ask me why am I shouting. So one person can't get sound and the other person needs it louder, right? I can't be shouting at everybody. I'm pretty sure I'm clear. Okay, let's go. So what we're looking for, we're breaking this structure. Remember when it was going down, I said all the trades in it are 15-minute trades because you'll be looking for a deeper correction. We're getting a deeper correction. As a matter of fact, we're getting a buy setup right now. See that? You can actually take a fib trade. For my traders, you can actually, don't do that. For my traders, you can actually take a fib trade if you get it. 618, if you get a 618 fib, you could buy the 618 fib from here. But you're looking more as an ABC structure down, so you could take the breakout. For those who are not sure about what we were talking about, you can take the breakout of this structure to the upside, right? So here's the deal. Non-farm payroll coming up this afternoon. Before then, any move that is going to happen now may be pretty small. You're not going to have much big moves before non-farm payroll because they will use that event to move the charts. So what you're going to have is a lot of consolidation now. So if you go in a trade now, it may really not go where you want it to go. It will just stick right where it is, going a couple pips up, a couple pips down. So I don't think we'll anticipate much movement until then. We're going to see some sideways move, but we're preparing ourselves for what the moves are going to be when non-farm payroll come. This looks like we're going to have some more upside, right? So we're looking for possibility of more upside. New Zealand, let's see, also looking more upside. We broke this. We're looking for a consolidation. You've got an impulse up. You've got a correction. You've got an impulse up. You're getting a correction. you're likely going to have one more impulse up. So if it comes back here, you can look for one more impulse up, right? Or a break of the structure. Swiss, remember what I said? This is a corrective structure. If you're trading it to the upside, you got to take it in a 15-minute, get out of the trade because you're coming down. And this is what we're going to expect in the Swiss. We've got an impulse. We have a correction. And we're looking for a next impulse. This is your trade. Don't miss that trade. Let's put it in the daily so you can see what the trade is. You're looking for this trade back to this structure here. If that happens today, that's a wonderful trade. Don't miss it. Right? Don't miss that trade if it happens. I honestly believe they're going to go back to that structure. I don't think this one has anything to do with it. You can actually put that trend line and wait for them to break it out. If you get it probably earlier, you can wait. But I very much think they're going to come to this trend line. We're looking at a bigger trend, not the smaller trend, right? 4 hour. Yep. So we can look for a sell setup somewhere in here if we get a corrective structure there in a 1 hour, and we're getting a corrective structure here. So if we get a really nice one, which means if we get something more like this, we can take the breakout of this to this trend line, let them go through this, and then watch if they pass through that. All you have to do is move your trade to break even, right? Yes, CAD. CAD has a wonderful setup. You don't want it better than this, right? You got an impulse, you got an A, you got a B, you're making a C, and you're coming down. Don't try to sell the top of the C. Sell the breakout. In this case, you're only selling the breakout of the structure. Right? Let me warn you. Don't try to sell the top here. Sell the breakout of the structure. You have to let it confirm that this is what it's going to do. And if it does, you're in that trade because the trade is a huge trade. I'm looking for them to break this structure and come all the way to the low. Let's show you that in a daily. Just in case, remember what I said when it was going up? When they hit that structure, that could be the reversal point, right? We did this chart every day, and we actually did it in details one day. So the trade you're trying to catch would be this trade coming down. See that? That's a huge trade. Don't miss it. At that point, two things will happen. Let me take all these fibs out just to give you some vision. At that point, two things will happen. It's going to go out of the structure or it's going to go up one more leg. Both of them are very, very possible, right? Both of those structures are very possible. We do have divergence. Nope, we don't. Take it off, right? Both of those structures are very possible. As a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or as a 1, 2, 3, and it goes down, right? We'll see. We'll see, but don't miss this trade. Remember, there's a big trade when they break this trend line here. There's this trade inside of that trend line. That is when they break this structure here, coming down like this. So don't try to pick the top. If it goes back up, let it go back up. I'm not interested in the upside. I'm interested in the downside, and I'm interested in the downside. So my first trade would be this one. My second trade would be this one. See that? Really nice trade setups. Don't miss them. Let's go back. Wait for the breakout. If non-farm payroll is going to be the one that is going to push this to the downside, we'll have an entry order at the low here. Right? Remember, during non-farm payroll, let me warn you guys, during non-farm payroll, it's very dangerous to trade. Trading in the whole is very dangerous. Right? And I'm not giving you trade calls. I'm telling you what I would do. Right? So far, I have to say thank you that, most of the reaction I'm getting from people is positive. Everybody made money during this week. I mean, really made a lot of money. Some people even doubled their accounts. I don't know how they trade. I can't say if their risk management was okay or so, but the trades they took were really nice. A lot of people send me a copy of their accounts showing me that they made money. They said thanks, and a lot of people joined us during this week, right? Because they did well. Now, this is what trading is about. Understanding the structure, figuring out which direction it is going to go next, forecasting it, making the direction which you think it's going to go next, and then trade it if it does that. If it doesn't do that, let it go. Right? Now, the most important thing in trading views that everybody wants, well, excluding the trolls, there are going to be a few trolls there. Everyone, most people, new traders, wants you to give you an entry. Where is the entry? Where is the stop? It's useless to you if I do that. You will not learn to trade. Right? You will really not learn to trade if I do that for you. So learn to trade. It's always better if you learn to trade. So I'm very, honestly, I did not expect such a great reaction from this week. I am a little surprised of how great the reaction was from most traders. Most traders did make money, and that's the whole point. I'm very glad. So you see what we do. As a matter of fact, a few people even offer me to create a website for me. At least 3 offers to create a website, and I had about 4 offers to say, let me pay for your webinar, right? And then I calculated to a few people and said, well, okay, how much you're going to pay me for the monthly webinar? And some people said, well, I had one guy saying like 20 euros. One guy said $50. Next guy said from about $50 to $100. And one guy even said, well, you tell me and the price and I'll pay it. And I said to them, here is it. If I charge you a monthly subscription, it's better for me because every month I will get a certain amount of money from 100 people or 200 or 300 people. But that's not the point because not all of you can afford to pay the monthly subscription. Remember, it looks easy the first year. If you have to stay here for 2 years, 3 years to continue to trade, because if you pay a monthly subscription, you would not learn to trade. You will be depending on me for the trade. And as long as you're depending on me for the trade, you will have to keep paying me that monthly subscription forever. Right? That means 3 years from now, I'll be making a lot of money from you if you calculate how much you pay. So I calculate and show them $2,500. If you divide it by $100 a month, after 2 years, you don't have to pay anything. So let's say you take the course. The first thing, the most important thing is you will learn to trade. I will teach you to trade. That's the important thing. So if like the one guy who says, well, what happened if you die? It's funny, but he may have a point. What if I die? If you're paying subscription and something wrongs with me, I can't give you trade anymore. You can't trade. So it's better if I teach you to trade. Hopefully I don't die before this course, right? So those of you who pay your money will at least learn to trade now, right? It's a funny thing to say. It's a little annoying though, but So hopefully you learn to trade. So for the rest of your life, you can trade yourself. That's the important thing. And that's what I like when most people send me their record and they said, thank you, I made some money, is that they've learned something. That's the whole point. For me to pass on that knowledge to you, and maybe later on, as the guy says, what happens if there's something wrong with you? You will pass that knowledge on to somebody else. But if I kept the knowledge and I charge you a monthly subscription, you will never learn to do it. And a monthly subscription, believe you, if this is a business for me, is the best thing to do, charge you a monthly subscription. Because I'm pretty sure every month I'm going to have a good sum of money. That's guaranteed. Right? But I don't like the idea. I'll be honest with you. I don't like that idea. Although a lot of people said, well, they don't have the time to learn. They'd rather come to the webinar and trade. And they see that you can actually get the trade from the webinar. I don't like the idea. Not that it's an idea that is totally excellent, but I would really, that's probably the last thing. If people really going to insist on it, that's probably the last thing I'll do. I'd rather not have the idea of charging you a monthly fee. Because then it becomes a business. It becomes, I'll be busy trying to collect money every month, make sure everybody pay, check subscription, give you codes, do all. I'd rather you pay one time and then you're in the group. I don't have to worry about it. I'm just glad you're around here. And, we are no longer clients. We are friends. After the course, we are friends. We are not clients, right? You don't have to, I'm not depending on you to give me monthly subscription and all of that. We are friends. You're here. You ask me questions. We enjoy. The room is an amazing place. Nobody has to worry that they don't have payment for the next month, so they wouldn't be in the room or so. You're there for life, and it's free, and you're more relaxed trading in an atmosphere where you don't have to pay, right? The trading room, everybody who's in the trading room are having fun sometimes, and they're trading, they're enjoying, they're learning from each other because they know they don't have to be, like next month I wouldn't have money to pay, so I may not be in this room. right? So I'll give you an example about the room. Think of this same room we are in here. That's how it happened, except that the microphone is open. If I open the microphone now, we're going to have a lot of background noise because you people can't even type your name. How are you going to mute your microphone? Right? We still have a whole dozen people who haven't typed their name. In my room, you can't come in without name. You'll be kicked out of the room. And I know all my traders. When I said I know all of them, I know all of them. I spoke to all of them. That's one of the criteria to joining. You have to call me and talk to me. Right? I have to assess whether you're ready for the course. And then only you decide you get in the room. So I know everybody in the room. They have to type their name. And I know I could tell you most of them even which course they did. Right? And then you get to talk. You mute your microphone, and if you can stop me during the webinar and ask a question. Like if I'm saying, okay, I think CAD is going to go down and you see something else, or you think I'm missing something, you can always stop and say, okay, Anil, what do you think about this? Right? You can actually draw on my screen. I can pass the presenter over to you for you to show me what it is. That's how the webinars and our room work. The trading room is where the traders get in there now and they share that. Right? They actually discuss the trade. They don't just talk, okay, we're looking for a sell here. They discuss it. They literally could be arguing about it. They could be saying, well, I didn't see it this way. And then each person showing the trade will have to prove why, based on the rules we have, why he thinks that is a good trade. He has to convince the rest of the people in the room that that is a good trade. Because somebody could say, well, I think that CAD is going to go up. And then I say, okay, you take the presenter, show me why you think it's going up. Very simple. I'll just give him the presenter and said, okay, show me what you're looking at. It's a very, very, very friendly place. When I said friendly, it is very friendly. We are there only to help each other. We have one single motto in that room. You're in the trading room to help somebody else. That's the whole purpose of you being in there, to help somebody else. If that is not your purpose, you will be thrown out of the room. So I will not open the room for everybody to go in there. We don't want to spoil that motto. We don't want to make a trading view room where people are there to troll you. Not to help you, but to troll you. We don't want that in this room. Right? Our room don't have those kind of stuff. And that's the difference. It's a huge difference because I control that room. And if I think you're not bringing value to the room, you will be thrown out of that room. That's how simple it is. 1 second, let me get it. So let's go. We're looking for a sell, and if non-farm payroll gives us is kind to us, we will get this sell. We'll get a very nice sell, and if non-farm payroll is very nice, we may get a couple hundred pips today, right? If it goes up, so be it. I wouldn't be in the trade, so I'm not saying it has to go down. I'm saying I like the structure to go down, and if the structure goes down, I'll be in it. If the structure goes up, I'm not interested in the buy. So non-farm payroll comes and this thing do this, and somebody said, I don't know what you was talking about. It went up. Okay, so I'm not in the trade. No big deal. I didn't lose any money in it. Also, no big deal, right? It's not about me winning. It's about me understanding what the structure is doing, and if it does what I think it's doing, I will take the trade. How do you think it's working so far that you're here 1 week? It's working good, right? It's working great. The four trades we identify were the 4 best trades this week, right? So, and that is what structured trading has an advantage above, draw some patterns or draw some lines and draw some fancy thing. And it's important. Here's the thing. This is very, very important. It may sound like, I'm because I was looking at the video yesterday of one trader and TradingView who does videos very regularly and likes to make them look like comedic show, and fancy voice and all those stuff. But I was listening at the substance of what he was saying. And one of the things he said in it was that, please don't call anybody name in here. We are discussing the substance. We are not discussing the person. One of the substance things that he said trading is a game, is a number game. You don't know where any trade is going to go. You just take the trade. You just follow your patterns or whatever, and you take everyone, and you're hoping that you have an advantage over it because you did backtest and forward test. And I'm listening to that and say, you don't have a clue what trading is about. Trading is not a game. That's the first thing. And it has nothing to do with a number game. If you're hoping you're playing trading like a number game and you're going to have an advantage of winning more than losing, you're going to die. And one of the example he picked is if you're flipping a coin, and every time you flip the coin, you win, you get $2, you lose, you get $1. You're going to be flipping that coin every time to make a lot of money. That's the craziest stuff I heard from somebody who has no idea what they're talking about. Absolutely no idea. Their trading is actually flipping a coin. Pattern trading is not flipping a coin. Pattern trading is understanding the structure with a very high probability of knowing where it's going to go. And I'll repeat that, knowing where it's going to go. Not guessing where it's going to, not flipping a coin and hope it goes your direction. You know where it's going to go. And if it does that, you know with a very high probability how this structure is going to behave. And if the structure behaves that way, there you go. Don't flip any coin and hope you get paid $2 and you lose $1 every time. You will lose your account. And there were people listening to this guy and saying, oh, that's the best thing I've ever heard. This is the best video. And I was like, how crazy are you not to use your brain and question what you hear? You have to question what you hear. If you come in here and I said it's like flipping a coin, you should be out of the door within 10 seconds. You should be out of the door within 10 seconds. If somebody teaching you, telling you that this thing is like flipping a coin, goodbye. You go flip your coin. You'll be flipping burgers very soon. Some of my traders like to say that. You'll be flipping burgers for your living very soon, not just flipping a coin. Trading is not about flipping a coin and hoping that the advantage is on your side, and I don't know where it's going to go. If you don't know where it's going to go, you should never, ever be a trader. Right? You can imagine, I don't know, Warren Buffett has one of his guys come up to him and said, boss, I think we should buy Apple. And he says, well, why? He says, well, I don't know what it's going to do, but if it goes, we have an advantage. You don't know what it's going to do. You don't know it's going to go up and you want us to buy? You don't know what it's going to do and you're telling me let's invest into that company? You better know what you're saying. Right? The question, the guy, your boss, you better know what you're saying. You better know why it's going to go up if you want us to buy it. You have to put an argument as to why it's going to go up. You must know with a very high probability. There is a chance you'll be wrong, but you must have the highest probability on your side. And that is what pattern trading is about putting the probability on your side. It's not about flipping a coin and hope you get paid $2 and you lose $1 because you're going to be flipping burgers. Let me repeat that. Most of you may have seen that video. That is pure nonsense. And that's what people, a lot of people selling signals and so on trading, you don't like me because I say it as it is. And I tell you plain, if you are saying something that is nonsense, I tell you it's nonsense. Right? There are people who say very smart things, and I say, well, compliment them for that. You say, but you can't tell a trader that I'm training you, but it's like flipping a coin. Please. It's not about it. It's not a number game either. It's understanding the structure, and if you do, you will have the advantage on your side. So let's go. Yen. Yen, we are still in this down structure. We broke the bigger one. Remember, I said they will be trying to come to this level, and I still think they'll be trying to go to that level because we are still in the down trend. This is the down trend in yen. We've got a sharp move down. We had a correction under the breakout. That's a wonderful trade. We had one more correction under this breakout, and now we are getting, this one is the weekly trend line that I just moved. I'll probably recorrect it. And now we are getting another bigger correction here, right? So I still think this part is a correction because they have to break this before that no longer being a correction. So I'm still looking at that as a corrective structure unless they break this pattern here. As long as they're within this structure, they could come and go, and then we would look for another big trade to the downside. So right now, yen, you had a very small trade in it. If you were careful, if you were looking at it and you understand the structure in a lower time frame, I think in a 15-minute, you probably would have got a trade like this. It's probably still a possible trade to the upside on a very short time frame, 15-minute. You still have one more trade to the upside, most likely. But there's a chance they're going to bring it down first, and then one more up. You're going to have a 5-wave structure in here, and then you're going to probably get the downside. So a lot will depend on what non-farm payroll does today for this. If they're going to make a deeper correction up or they're going to hit the low. On the daily, this is what we were expecting them to do. On the daily, we are in this corrective structure, and it is a corrective structure by all means, which means if they break this low, if and when they break that low with divergence, you're going to start a very, very big move of yen going up. Sometime this year, we're going to have a huge move of yen going to the upside. So if we get any buy opportunity in yen when they break this structure, if today non-farm payroll breaks that structure and we get a buy setup, we will take that setup because this could be the start of a huge move of yen to the upside. Pretty huge move, right? So watch that possibility to happen. We will watch it. We're still within the downtrend, so no need to worry. It's not a buy setup as yet. If you're buying the correction, it's a 15-minute trade, right? Europang, it broke. It's consolidating. We may get a trade to the upside, especially if the pound goes up and the euro comes down. We'll get a trade. If euro goes up and pound goes up too, you'll probably just go sideways. It's not the best trade, so I think you can probably just skip it. Euro Oz, wonderful trade. The trade we started the week with saying this is the best trade, and it's still the best trade. We're still in the uptrend. We are making a correction here. We broke that trend line there. We're making a deeper correction. So what we can look for is that you may probably get a short sell today. Right? It's a sell opportunity back to the trend line. Just maybe they may go back to the trend line, and if they do, we'll get a sell opportunity. A 1, 2, 3, and then we can look for upside. I don't think this is going down back as yet. I don't see this going down as yet. Let's see if we have divergence. Slightly, but this wave is not over. If this thing is going to go back down, we would look for a break of this structure here. See that? A break of this structure will give us a wave back to the downside, but I'm not anticipating one more wave to the downside here. Right? We're not anticipating it. But if it gives us, it's okay. Because even if you pull the bigger trend here, we are out of it. See? Even if you pull that trend, we're out of it. So we're not looking for that. We're looking for, excuse me. Sorry, guys. It's very dry here, and it looks like I'm getting a cold. So you'll have to excuse me if I have to stop to blow my nose a few times. Right? So let's go. We're still looking for a continuation of this pattern, and we're looking for it to get all the way to here. So you got a very nice trade this week. We can get some more nice trades next week. What we're looking for is some consolidation. You're always looking for pullbacks and consolidation. See, they always make pullback. They make deeper consolidation, smaller pullbacks in there. We're getting a bigger pullback now. We had one here. We're getting one more here, and then we'll get continuation to the upside. I don't see this thing is not going up. We have a continuation pattern. The question is from where will it go up, right? Everybody is asking. Let's see how this consolidates first. I still think there's one more trade down to about the 618. That would be a very good buy if it hits the 618 for my traders. If we hit the 618, that is a perfect buy if we get it. If not, we'll have to buy a breakout setup. Now, I don't think this is a breakup. This is just one piece coming down. So this here will probably make one more move down, and then we would look for a breakout of this structure somewhere here, and that is your trade going up. This one you can keep. That will happen probably next week. During non-farm payroll, what happens is that the majors move, right? The majors move, and then you don't. I'm missing what's happening in the chat. So you guys, if it's a question, keep it for afterwards. The majors move, so the crosses don't move very much. Oh, the flip burger, yeah, that's Benny. That's Benny's quote. I should have actually said that. My fault. That one comes from Benny. I couldn't remember immediately who said it. One of my traders. That's Benny Flip Burgers. He likes to say that. I'll be flipping burgers to my living. I told you that room is amazing, right? Those guys are very funny in there. It's a really amazing place to be. That I like to be with those guys in there because it's a lot of fun, right? Keep the questions for later. If I follow all 24 per just a specific you. Everybody in the room trades their own thing. Believe me, we have people in our trading room who trades the Norwegian krone, some I think, or the Swedish krone or something like that. We have people who trade indexes. Benny is a guy who trades a lot of indexes, right? He trades them. He's been trading for 15, 20 years now. He trades a lot of those indexes. We have people who trade, yep, let's see, Michael trading his own thing. Everybody trades their own thing. Here's the idea. What I teach you is not what to trade. I teach you how to read the charts. And if you can read the charts, it doesn't matter what chart you bring up. It really doesn't matter what chart you bring up. You can analyze it and you can tell where the next trade is going to. We have Nora trading the Mexican peso. We have people trade their own stuff. It doesn't matter. You know how to analyze it. You analyze it, you know where the next trade is going to go, and you trade whatever you want to trade. And believe me, some of those guys trade better than I do, right? And I'm not kidding. I'm not just saying that for hype. We actually sold the Pong Yen together. I got out, and those guys were still in, making 1,500 pips, whereas I got a couple hundred only, probably about 100, 200, right? Some of them do, they do end up getting better trades than I do. Because I'll probably, like yesterday, I got on the Pong Swiss, I got 5 pips. How many of you made money in the Pong Swiss yesterday? Just give me an idea if you made a lot of pips. Because I had 80 something pips, I put it to +5, go to sleep, wake up this morning, and I had 5 pips. I'm pretty sure a lot of you got more than 5 pips in that trade, right? Because if you were there, you probably click out the trade for 20, 30, maybe. It went about 80 pips from where the entry was, right? So I know a lot of you made money, and I got 5. Yeah, doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to get all the best trades. Euro yen, a few of my traders made a lot of money in it when we were trying to catch it to go up. I got 2 trades that I got +1 out of, and both of them were over 100 pips. So how you are going to trade is not how I'm trading. How I'm trading is not how you may be a better trader in terms of your trading style. But we will all analyze the chart the same way. We will all use the same technique to analyze the charts. That is the important thing. We will all see the same trade setup. And that doesn't mean all of us will get that trade. I go to sleep, wake up the next morning, and my trader says, "Oh, we're in the New Zealand, or we're in the Aussie, we are 50, 60 pips up," and I'm like, darn, I was asleep, right? Or somebody who comes and joined the room from the New York session and said, "What you guys doing?" "Oh, we are already in this trade 100 pips up." They're late for the trade because they're asleep. That's it. You got to sleep sometime. You got to be off the chart sometime. So not everybody gets the same trade. Not everybody gets all the trade. Not everybody gets, we're in a trade. It's 200 pips up. It starts to pull back. Some people take their profit off. Some people decide they're going to live through the pullback. They live through the pullback. It drops again. If you're lucky, you catch the next drop. If you're not lucky, you're not in the trade. And then you hear, "Oh, that trader is 200, 300 pips, 500 pips up on it." And you're not in. You just took out 100 pips, right? You're in New Zealand and all of that. So that trading, you will develop your own style. You will develop your own risk management because of your appetite for risk. You will choose the pairs you want to trade or the charts you want to trade. But you will all analyze the chart the same way. Every single one of us will have the same way of analyzing that chart because that's the correct way of analyzing the chart. And once you do it that way, you will see the advantage of understanding the market. That is how important it is. You will see the charts very clearly, right? You will not jump into the moving candles anymore. Euro in New Zealand, we have a pullback. I think we can use this bigger trend. Yep. And there is a chance we're doing the same thing. We've got to move up, a pullback. We've got to move up. We're getting a pullback here, so we could look for a next move up, right? Which means that we can watch Euro New Zealand do something like this. And then we can take that breakout, right? See this here? You watch it do something like this, and then you can take that breakout. And you're going to do this. If non-farm payroll go, this one could be pretty fast, right? If non-farm payroll pushes the euro up, that could be very, very fast. So let's see. Let me take this out. This was probably, yes, buy the breakout. That was from a chart that I posted. So take it out. We're looking for the upside. And remember, this trade could be a huge trade. If we break this top and we don't have divergence and we keep going up, we would be looking for a huge trade to the upside, right? What we don't know as yet is if it's just part of a bigger correction. I don't think it is. I think it's actually starting a huge trade. So once we see this starts getting very aggressive and very impulsive to the upside, that's it. If they break this trend line, we'll look for a sell opportunity. It means if they break that trend line, it means we're looking at a corrective structure. See that? We would look for this trade, and then we'll see if they break here or if they go back up. I don't think that is what we're looking for right now. I think we're looking for a move that is starting to the upside. Let it prove it's going to do that, and we will keep that trade for a long while. EuroCAD just bouncing above here. I don't see. Let me see what they're doing. EuroCAD in the bigger picture. In the bigger picture, we have a disadvantage in it. If you look at a monthly chart, we're pretty much in some kind of a sideways move here right now. The whole big structure is a sideways move, as well as we are right now in a sideways move, and we're getting divergence. So I'm not sure this one is going to go very far. Right? I'm anticipating a move back to the top, break this top here, and then a deeper pullback. So let's see if that is going to happen. We have that. We have a 4-hour divergence. We have 1-hour divergence. So, once they break this top here, this previous top, where is it? Let me put a line here so we can see where that top is. Once they break this top, there's a very high probability they're going to go down back. Right? So this one may not go up very much. I think we can ignore that for now. Euro yen, this has potential. Let's see if we broke the low. I didn't think we broke the low as yet. So if we didn't break the low, we're still looking for upside potential, right? They bounced. Let's see if they're going to break this structure. This trend line may not be of much value. It's been coming down very small. This is going to be a deeper pullback. We're looking for this to go back to this level. This was FOMC the last time, right? That was an FOMC. So let's see if today's FOMC. No, that was FOMC. Let's see if non-farm payroll is going to give us this. I think this was an FOMC, not non-farm payroll. So let's see if non-farm payroll today is going to give us this move to the upside, and if they're going to break to go up. So could be a wonderful trade. Keep your eye on it. Let's see. Put it in a 1-hour. Let's see if you have a setup. Not clearly as yet, but you can put an entry order above the top. And if they make some correction here, it's going to be better for us. This would be a perfect trade. So if it doesn't go anywhere today, we'll have a very nice setup next week. Euro Chiefs still in the correction. Leave it alone. They could break out today. There's a very strong probability they could break this corrective structure. And if they break it, it's a good trade. It's a trade way up to the top here. So, it's a corrective structure. If they break it, that would be a wonderful trade. If they come down, probably you wouldn't get the trade, so ignore that. Pangos, we are back at the trend line here now. So two things could happen. We could come down or we could break out. And if you break out, you don't want to miss that trade. You really, really don't want to miss that trade if you break out. Right? So put this in a 4-hour and you can see where we are. See that? That means either one more down or totally up. Now you're going to put an entry order above the top during non-farm payroll. For the downside, it's possible. So I'm not sure how we're going to trade the downside, whether we'll put an entry order in here. We'll see when the time comes. But to the upside, it's a very good trade. You don't try to catch these trades when they're so close to the trend lines. Don't try to catch them. Wait for them to prove the trade. Consolidate, you go. Break, consolidate, you go. Right? Let them prove the trade. Our trade was this trade going up, if you got any of that, right? That was your trade. Don't try to force it to the corner here because you will actually end up losing. Once they prove that trade, it's going to be a wonderful trade. It's pretty dry in Russia right now during the winter. Pound New Zealand, let's see what happens. Pound New Zealand is making a wonderful structure here, which is telling me that they're looking very much upside. See that? Got a sharp move. We're consolidating. We're very close to this trend line. Very, very close to it. But I think we're going to break it. We may get to this bigger trend line. So I'm looking for a break of this consolidation to the upside. That means pound goes up, New Zealand goes down, or New Zealand go up slower, right? 1 second. Yep, thank God it's Friday, right? I really need some rest. I need my voice to stay quiet for some time. So what we're going to look for is this and a break of this structure. I think we can see this break today. So I think we'll be very, very interested in this structure to the upside today. during non-farm payroll, we'd be very, very interested in the break of this structure. We'll probably try to get it inside. If not, we'll put an entry order above here for it. Moscow is dry and cold. Moscow is not dry and warm. It's very dry here, very dry, and it's very cold. But I'm indoors, so it's very warm right now. Yep, this one you can see. We took this trade. It didn't go anywhere. We took off the trade in our trading room on Monday. We didn't take it off. We put it to break even. I got a break even in it. I think I had about 50 pips and I got break even. Remember, I warned you guys very early that I get a lot of break even trade. I got break even on this. I got break even in the pound Swiss. The pound Swiss is about 80 pips, and I got break even on it. That's okay because I'm not going for the smaller trades. I wasn't going for that 80 pips. I was going for a couple hundred pips. And if it doesn't go, I take the break even. That's okay. I'm very happy with those trades. Same thing here. We took it for the bigger trade. It didn't go. The break of this, we took the break of this here. We got in right here. It went up, it came down, it went up back. When it starts to come back the second time, I told my traders, you probably want to put it to break even if they come back for a deeper pullback. And they did come for the deeper pullback. So we're right now stuck in this structure. And this structure could go both ways. They could break to the downside and then go up, or they could break out here. If they break out here, I'm in the trade again. To the downside, I will see whether I like the trade. But to the upside, I'm in the trade again because there's a very, very big move to the upside. You can see that this is a corrective structure. And when this corrective structure is over, we're going to be heading for this target. So this trade, I need. I'll take that trade anytime. This is what the trade is, that trade. Remember the pattern I show you guys? Everybody remember that? Impulse, correction, impulse. Now, is the correction over, or is it going to come down to this level and then make the impulse? It will make the impulse. Question is when, right? And we talked about that some yesterday, right? So understanding this structure, I know that there's a probability they're going to come back here and then go, but if they break, I'm in the trade. If they break today, I'll try to get that trade as best as I can. Pound Chief, pretty much we broke the low. I can see some divergence in here, but I don't think this structure is finished to the downside as yet. So what I'm looking for in a 1 hour is a pullback. I actually got in yesterday on this piece. Let me just pull this here. 15-minute. I got in on the break of this structure yesterday. I got in exactly here. I lived through this pullback. My stop was here. And when this went, I think I was somewhere here when it started to correct and go, and I put it to break even. And I went to sleep. Right? Saw that? I put it to break even, went to sleep, wake up this morning, and I'm out of the trade. I think I got 5 pips. That's part of trading. Some of you probably got most of this. Right? Because if I was in front of the chart, I'll probably get out somewhere here. I would not allow that to happen if I was in front of the chart, but I wasn't in front of the chart. So when I saw this, I was like, okay, you got to get out of this. You got to protect what you have and then go. So that's a +5 trade. That's okay. Because this was not what I was aiming for. What I was aiming for was this thing is going to probably go to this target. Well, they do pull back. And because of the low level that we got in, that pullback happens. And, now we're getting the bigger pullback, and I probably have a better trade. Which means when this pullback is over, actually I want them to go up like this. And then I'll get the sell from there, and I will still get this trade. Rather than getting this trade here, I will get this trade here. Makes a difference? See? That's part of trading. You have to understand that is part of trading. That's how trading goes. So you accept that part of it, especially if your target is further. And I didn't take 68 pips and said, "Oh, I'm happy I'll go out of this." Because if I do that every time, here's what I'm trying to say to people, traders. Traders keep asking me, "How do you get 1,000 pips?" That's nonsense. You're not supposed to. Well, because a lot of my trades like these give me break even. Because if I had woke up this morning and that thing had one more fall, I'll come here today and tell you what, hey, I'm about 700 pips up, and you'll go, that's crazy. It's not possible, right? It's possible. I just leave it at break even, and you either get break even or you get 1,000 pips. That's part of it, right? I will still get this trade to the downside. The structure has not changed one bit. If you ignore all the noise in trading view and you understand structure, the structure has not changed. Not as yet, not until they break this trend, right? As long as we are under this trend here, that trend line, the structure has not changed a bit. It's just a deeper pullback. So the bigger trade is still to come. And if you consider that we broke this structure here, this thing haven't even started to move as yet, right? So if they break this structure today, okay, we will start to look for upside probability, possibility. But if they come to this trend line and then they start to go down, I'm anticipating a move of this size, minimum a move of this size to the downside, right? If I get it. If not, no problem. This looks like a 5-wave structure that may be over, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If this 5-wave structure is completed, then what is going to happen is we're going to break this structure and make a much bigger corrective structure like this. In that case, we will trade it up, trade it down, and then we will take that big trade to the downside. It is still going down, right? It's just understand the different degrees of structure you're in, right? Some of the things we can't talk about in here. I can't show you, explain to you what I'm looking fully in here. But, if it was my room, I would go to all the options and show my traders why, how, and then we'll wait for those trades. So what trade we're looking for today? Probably stay out of it today, right? We may get a small trade to the upside, but we could also stay out of it, right? If it's non-farm payroll, why try to trade this pair here now? It's not the best pair to trade in non-farm payroll. Look at the majors. Pong Yen, we're getting a bounce, and this is a nice setup you may get even before non-farm payroll. You had a trade up, you got a pullback, you got a sharp one, you're getting a pullback. You can see the correction. Everybody remember? An impulse, a correction, an impulse, a correction, another impulse, right? So this is a nice setup, and this may happen way before non-farm payroll. So if you get this, you can take the trade. Aussie, New Zealand. Okay, we're getting a nice setup for a sell. Finally, something is happening here. You're getting a sell setup, right? So if this breaks, you can sell it. You can see that if it breaks, you can sell it. That's a good trade. Aussie Chief. A lot of you got this one well. We're getting a pullback now, so let's look at it. Remember, I said you're coming into the zone where the pullback is going to start to happen. They didn't hit this target, so there's a likely chance we're going to get one more drop, right? We're going to get one more drop in this because we didn't hit the target as yet. So put it in a 1 hour. Yep, there's a likely chance this is just a pullback like this, and then you're going to get one more drop today. Within a 15-minute, let's see. 15-minute is showing us a possibility for one more upside first. One more upside before we get the drop, right? So that it's looking a little more upside right now. We can put this trend line here and say, okay, if it goes up, it's a short buy. The upside is a 15-minute trade. The downside is a 1 or 240 trade to this level, right? So they're pulling back. That's okay. We've had a pullback like that before. See, they pull back, then they drop. So we're getting a pullback. We're going to get one more drop. You can trade this up if you have the skill level and then look for the downside. Aussie Yen. Aussie Yen broke. We're going up to. Also a corrective structure to the upside. Let's look at this in a 4 hour. Amazing, right? When they come into this zone, somewhere in here, we will start a very big consolidation. So Aussie Yen could be starting that big consolidation already. They got all these little trades you had going down. See how many little trades you had going down? 1, 2, 3, right? Now we are here, so we're looking for a deeper consolidation before we start the downside. We're going to make a deep consolidation. We're going to go down again, right? Nothing changed, nothing amazing. Exactly as we said it's going to behave. It's how it's behaving, right? Let's see. Aussie CAD. Okay, we want the deep pullback. We had a small pullback here, not the best one, to be honest. We want the deeper pullback now. So we want this deep corrective structure here. And then we would look for downside probability, right? Let's see if we're going to get that. If you don't get that, just ignore this one. It's not the best one. It's not moving very smooth. New Zealand CAD, we're getting the correction, which is good for us. We got a move up, a move down. We're getting a move up here now. You can see how it's going up, very messy. And then when they break this here, this is your trade. All right, there's going to be a big trade to the downside there. Let's put it in the 4 hour and see what it looks like. Oh, yeah, perfect. Actually, it's a huge trade. Not just a big trade, it's a huge trade. See that? It's playing out perfect too, by the way. Let me squeeze it so you can see. A very nice move down, a move up, a move down, a move up, and we were aiming for this big trade to the downside, something like this. Right? They're already coming down. So if this correction break, you want this trade because you can keep this trade and you can add to that trade and you can keep it and you can add to it and you can keep it and you can add to it. See that? You can keep it and you can add to it. You can keep it. You get a bigger correction, you get a fall. You may get out when the big correction start. If they start to make a big correction, you probably get out and then rejoin it. But these small corrections coming down would be amazing trades. See that? This is a wonderful one. You guys should pay attention to it. Let me make sure I keep this on my radar too. Right? So we're getting the first correction. Let me just pull it back to the downtrend so you can see what I'm talking about. You're getting your first correction. You're probably getting a bigger correction. Then you get one more correction. You get one more small correction. You come down. You get a bigger correction here. You get a smaller correction. The next correction, another correction. Then you drop here. And then the break of this structure, somewhere here, you're out of that trade, right? Once they break this structure here, you're out of the trade, right? So you have a number of smaller corrections until you go down. As they start to go down, we'll have a trend. Right? They correct here. We want them to make some more correction here, probably like this. They drop. We take this trade. We're going to have a trend going down. And as long as you're under that trend, they make corrections. You sell. They make corrections. You sell. They make corrections. You sell. Right? So this is a wonderful one. This is your next week trade. You guys should pay attention to this. You can make a lot of money on that next week. Right? Everybody keep that in mind. New Zealand yen, it's already going down. I don't think anybody's in this trade. If you're in, you want to get it to positive because non-farm payroll. Right? CAD yen, we're coming down. We have a little more to go. We're very close to this. I think we're getting a correction right now. Yep, we are. So remember, you can sell this correction. You have about 500 pips more to the downside. Let it go up some more and then you'll take it. Yep, you have about 500 pips, 580 pips. Let it go up some more there and then you have a sell. Nothing new, right? This is everything we talked about during the thing. You had this trade coming down and now it's going to make a deep correction and we'll all be in the trade. Everything, it's all about structure. Nothing new. It's all about structure. Absolutely nothing new in the world. See that? It's all about this thing coming down here, and then you have an amazing trade to the upside. So enjoy this piece here that is remaining to the downside, and then we start looking for that big trade going up. New Zealand Chief, what is this doing? Okay. We came to the top. We broke this. Where are we in the bigger structure? We're actually making an ABC correction, right? So we made a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up. Now we made an A, a B, and a C. What are you going to do? This would be your next big trade going up. See this? That's your next big trade. So this one has a very nice trade to the upside too. Watch it. Let's see to the downside if there's anything there. Nope. Actually, you see where this trade is going to go? It's simple to tell where it's going to go. Here. They went up. They came down. They went up. They came down. What are you going to do? Come back to the top here. That's an amazing trade. Don't miss it. You know where it's going, right? You know, it's not a lot of. And then you put it in a daily, and you're looking at this trend going up. You already have the first phase. You have this one from the bottom going up, and you're making a corrective structure here. You made one wave down, one wave up, one more wave down. They will break this low. They will definitely retest that low. So put this at set this correctly. Let me just set this correct and set this at the top there. See? We didn't break the top, so that's a B wave structure. We're coming to retest the low. So likely you're going to see this probably do this, drop here, and then you're going to look for the break of this structure. Buy it here, and you're going all the way up, right? So let's see what this looks like in a 1 hour. You're getting a structure, so we can put a trend onto it. Yep, you can look for a sell opportunity. Cat Chief. So we hit the bottom, right? Remember this pattern? Everybody remember that pattern? We hit the bottom, and now they will tell us, is it an ABC or is it a wedge? I posted this one, right? On TradingView some time back, and we asked, is it an ABC or is it a wedge? Now we will know. We hit the bottom. We wanted it to hit the bottom and tell us, are they going to go back up or are they going to go down? So let me just take this out. I actually said they're going to come up here and then they're going to come down like this. Well, they didn't go that much. They came here and they came down like this. But now we hit the low. So either this one is going to go back up like that now. And we can bring this E across here. Or either they break out and we get this trade going down. So is it up or down? Let's see. 4 hour. Starting to bounce. So it could probably be the upside. 1 hour. I would not be surprised if they go up, right? Because we are breaking this structure here. So we want them to break out of the structure. You're actually getting some consolidation here. So if they break that structure, we will see upside, consolidation upside, and keep going up like that. Right? Let's see. Is it going to be the upside or the downside? I have no clue. If it breaks the structure, it's downside. If it starts to go up, we will buy. We will really buy this thing because it's very nice trades. Swiss Chief, remember I said once they're the low, there's a probability you don't want to sell into that structure at the low there. So leave it alone because it's going to bounce. And it's bouncing. So let's see where we're going to go now. We want to see what this structure is telling us. Right now it's not clear. What happened to my every time? 1 second. Why is it losing the MACD? Let's go to the... We're in which one? We're in the Swiss. Okay, good. We're here, and there's a chance they're going to come back to the top. So if you get a corrective structure here, which is what they're doing right now, we would look for this straight up. It's not going to go fast. It's going to go pretty slow. Let me warn you. This thing is a headache to trade. Some of my traders traded, they did well, but it's a real headache. You have to stay in, and it makes a lot of deeper pullback, and then go a deep pullback, then go. So you're in very long before you get some pips. XAG, like I said, if you're in this one, don't rush it. It's going to go sideways. It's going to just, spike up and spike down and spike up, spike down. We may get the drop, and then we will get the next one up. I'm almost convinced of this thing dropping now, right? You can see that's a sideways move. Even if they go back up today, they would probably come down here and then go. So keep your buy orders. Maybe non-farm payroll will give us this trade today, right? Very likely non-farm payroll could give us that trade today. Gold, we did break the top. We're coming down back. We need to see whether they're going to make the drop to, whether gold is going to, 1 second, let me just get this. Whether gold is going to drop to the low and then go back, or gold is just going to correct and go, right? That is what we need to pay attention to. What will gold do? It's coming down sharp, so I wouldn't say it's a correction, but as long as we're in this uptrend, and as long as we're in this trend, it's still a correction, right? As of now, because I can't say it's an impulse going down as yet. An impulse will have to be followed by a correction, and then we will know that it's going. US oil could be bouncing, probably retest the low and then go again. The best thing to do is stay out of it. Don't try to trade it while it's at the bottom. Natural gas, we are breaking, so you have your chance. You can look for an entry set up here to go, right? I expect it to go. Let's see. If you take the buy there, keep a very small stop here, just in case they decide to make one more attempt at the low and then go. You can make expanding flats, and this could be an example of an expanding flat. But I think it's going, so let's see. Yep, if they consolidate here some more, this would be a perfect trade to go up. It's already consolidating quite a lot, right? So we may get a very nice trade to the upside. What else? That's about it. So, okay, guys. We don't have time remaining for anything, but I'll put this up on YouTube so you guys could watch it again, and then more people could watch it. You could share it. Share the link on your social site. It's a lot of time, so I don't think we'll take questions. Here's what we will do. The New York session, I'll do it very short. We'll just run through the major one because we're going to have news event. Before the news event, we'll discuss whatever you guys want to do. I'll take all your questions before the news event. And after the news event, we'll look at some charts very fast, and then we can probably talk about something that is interesting in trading. US Chief, somebody want me to go over back the US Chief. Let's take a look at it very fast. Yep, we're waiting to see whether they're going to break this structure to go down. So you want to get it a little earlier. You want to get it in the break of this little structure here. When they go back up here, you'll wait for a break of this to this level, break there and break there. Just put it to break even and leave it. Thank you. Yep, for that advice. I'll try. I have honey, I have lemon, so that probably help. Do you provide recording of your course for your traders in the future reference? Oh, everything we do is recorded. Even this is recorded. Everything is recorded, and they have access to everything. And there's so many questions. Let me just make sure if I can get something. Oh, if you double click the MACD, it disappears. Okay, I didn't know that. I as well keep wondering where my MACD. So how do you get it back? You just double click again. So I double click MACD goes. I just double click. Okay, good. Thank you. I wasn't even using that function. I didn't know it exists. Thank you for that. What is it? Yep. Some of my traders should help me answer some of those basic questions if you know the answer to them, because I'm missing a lot of them. Oh yeah, this is an interesting question. At TradingView, a lot of popular traders, a lot of popular, I like the word popular, people use patterns. BAT, Cypher, Gartley. Why don't you use them? Isn't it the true strategy? I think you're in my course for the first. You're in my webinar for the first time, I assume, right? If you ask the question, because on YouTube we have a whole. Advanced patterns. Is it on YouTube? I think it is. We don't have the advanced pattern webinar on YouTube. Oh, advanced patterns, why they work and why they don't. You should watch this. Actually, you should watch all the webinars on YouTube. You should share them with your friends. It's interesting. That will tell you why they work and why they don't, and why I don't use them. What is advanced pattern and why most of them, I can't bring up people's chart from advanced pattern and show you here, right? Ethically, that's wrong, and I don't like to look at anybody's thing in particular in my webinar. But you can do that. You can go on the guys who use advanced pattern, take 100, the last 100 of their chart, click on it, and see what happens. You should know the rules of where and how they trade it and see what happens. I mean, if you go and you click, you're going to have fun. Go click and see what happens. You know what advanced pattern do? They look beautiful hindsight. Let me show you how the advanced pattern will look beautiful. They will take this and they'll say, oh, we had one here. We had a very wonderful pattern here. Perfect. See how that one went? It worked good, right? Hindsight. You try when they do it in real sight where they're telling you it is going to go, very often they get it wrong. And why they get it wrong is they don't know structure. They don't understand what the structure is going to do. They just put the pattern wherever they think it should be without understanding what the structure is doing. And because of that, very often it is not correct, right? They get it wrong. The main thing you need to do is understand structure. It's not about the patterns. It's about understanding the structure. And if you understand the structure, you want to draw bat, draw bat. You want to draw butterfly, draw butterfly. It's okay. You want to draw Gartley, draw Gartley. It's all about a corrective structure. So once you understand that, it's like, I don't know, you go to primary school, you learn a few things, you learn the alphabet, and then you go to the advanced school, you know more stuff. You don't try to, you still don't recite the alphabet, right? When you're in when you're in when you're in school, when you're in nursery or you're in kindergarten, you recite the alphabet, right? When you go to become a writer, you don't still recite the alphabet. You don't need to do that, right? So yeah, very often it hit the stop loss, then go. You will see that, and there is a reason for that. I showed you actually in the webinar why. Oh, the webinars will be up forever, but they will have no value. Remember, these are webinars that I'm showing you what structure is going to do tomorrow, not what structure is going to do next year. So they will have little value to you. The structure may change tomorrow, and then we will reassess. The reason we do 2 webinars daily is because structure changes, right? We're assessing what is the next move. If I give you a daily structure, you can't trade it. You don't trade daily structures. Nobody trade daily, weekly structures. You need to, what is my next trade for the next couple hours? Maybe for a day, maybe for a week. But where is the entry point? The entry point will be decided in the hourly and the 240. And by tomorrow, that will have no value to you, right? After FOMC today, they may not have any value to you, right? So, okay, I'll see all of you guys this afternoon. And please share it. You have 100 people in the room. Let's get 200 people in the room this afternoon. Invite a friend. Simple. Invite a friend over. You must have one trading friend who is not in the room. Invite him. Share the link. You can share it on your social sites, wherever you are, Facebook, tweet it out, whatever you want to do. And you must have a group of people you're in with. Share it there, and let's get 200 people this afternoon. See all of you. Take care. Bye-bye.